can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free.
Frazier Friday, everybody's together. Oh, here we go. Right off the jump. Right off the jump. The other day.
I would cross you up right away.
Oh.
Listen.
What?
You might be bigger than me, dog, but you're not quicker than me. That's the
I
problem.
got to bed late last night. Don't be angry.
He's starting off bad already, dog.
Anyway.
I have so many things to say, and I know we do have to get to biz eventually, but did you like hitting pitchers that were north-south or east-west?
I don't know. What would you say?
He had an instant answer. Kratz did.
No, you were better. You were better on
up and down,
north south.
Yeah, I would say up and down
because he would chase. He would chase far. He had good. He had good range, but that's how you get him out. You get him out because he'd run out of. He'd run out of bat. He never. He always stayed through the ball so well. Like people would be like, "Oh, Todd Frazier, slider bat speed." I'm like, not slider bat speed.
Fastball changeup, guys.
Just through the zone so long. Where I was in and out of the zone. That's why my numbers weren't as good. And then when he was able to control the zone better with sliders, that's what made him.
It was hard.
There's some guys that like sinker slider, right? Especially nowadays because they're seeing so many sliders and sweepers.
I liked sinker. I didn't like when the ball ran inside. I couldn't stand
that's east and west.
Yeah.
Like you think about
sweeper. I mean, you guys didn't have the sweeper era. It came right out.
They were still throwing it. It wasn't named.
Hold up.
Yeah, don't start that crap. They just made a new name for a curveball.
They throw way more of those now. You think they threw just as many?
I think it was
sweeper sliders.
It was accidental. Yes. I think it was just an accident.
How many guys?
Oh, that was filthy.
No, how many guys would throw? How many guys would you say throw? You'd say, oh, he's got a curveball and a slider, and he'll blend it sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
In the counts. That's it.
Corey Kluber was one of the guys where I saw one of the most filthy sweeper. He could have named it the
but he just called it a curveball.
Yeah, it would go and it would go straight and then have that little hooky tooky.
Go up a hill, down.
Well, it never like if a guy's breaking ball. We're getting too far into it here, but if a guy's breaking ball pops out of his hand, you're all over it. Yeah. Even I would be all over it. Kluber's would go zit,
Bugs Bunny.
And you're like, huh? And he goes, it's a curveball. Yeah, and I was catching it in 17 in spring training. I was like, you do know it's not a curveball. And he goes,
yeah. That's how it was. That's how it was. I love that.
That is how he is.
Bugs Bunny, we call that one.
Yeah, you just take a day off or you try your best.
One other quick thing.
Nightmares.
This will give you nightmares. You weren't on the other day, but you saw the Rockies-Giants fight. So I was saying, like, oh, it's so exciting to at least see, like, real fighting. And then someone was like, well, there weren't real punches thrown. So I was going back and forth on that. But I'm like, you know what? My bar has been set so low now that even just a Matt Chapman shove.
Yeah.
Like a Willie Adames slap. Because if you watch it, he kind of slapped at him.
Yeah, but think about it. Bench is clear every other week maybe or so in a game, maybe even a little less than that, maybe once a week or so.
What?
Every other week? Bench is clear.
Every other week.
Every other week they clear, and they go, hey, and then they go back.
Sure.
So when there's some level of physical contact, right?
Yeah, you're like, all of a sudden you're like this. All right, we're back.
Yeah, it just gets going a little.
Getting in there, he was pissed at Freeland.
You know what you need one designated player to just go charge the mound and put hands on the pitcher, but make sure he puts hands on you. Because if it just takes a punch being thrown, like Freeland threw a punch, so threw him out. So like, who are we facing today? Paul Skenes. Who's going to get him to punch somebody?
Yeah, exactly.
How do we get him out of the game?
How do you get him out of the game?
Fastball inside, take offense, and go.
That's the only reason you're in this lineup.
Let him hit you.
It's actually a good strategy.
I don't know. 99.
Strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
See how it plays out for you.
On that note, let's charge the mound.
Charging the mound.
Well, Todd Father was on coverage of this Yankees-Astros series all week, and it has taken center stage. Yes, we're leading off most shows with it. Rightfully so. A lot has gone on. So the latest, bat gate.
Oh, God, they're calling it. Are you calling that?
I'm just calling it that. I haven't seen anything, but everyone puts gate on top of things. So Taylor Trammell getting his bat checked. Who had that one on their bingo card?
No, and we were watching the game and we didn't see it until the bat was picked up and we're like, oh, okay, there's a big old white spot on there. Only time I've seen a bat like that, I remember it was Brandon Phillips. He would use it during batting practice because the black part of the bat from overuse got worn down. And that he said it right. The gloss got worn down. It doesn't look like he shaved anything. I don't know how you do that. We were talking and then we were saying, oh, maybe he's trying to flatten it out. I'm like, I've never seen anybody trying to flatten a bat out and square it up. It looks totally different. It looks weird. I could see why Boone was like, all right, let's take a look at it. But I don't think there's anything to it. And I think, honestly, only time I've seen those is during batting practice. Why would anybody want to bring that bat up to hit? I don't know. That would
good in BP with it.
That would mess with my psyche a little bit. And I'd be like, all right, but it's just a bald spot, I would call it.
Is that why you went right to me? A bald spot?
No, you went to him first.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
He's that good.
It's a big nothing sandwich. It's a big nothing sandwich.
If you say that, though, I want to make sure you include this in your answer. If it's a big nothing sandwich, then why would you start beef?
I don't think they wanted to start beef. I think Boone said they noticed it, and they waited for him to get a hit just to see.
So then it's not a nothing sandwich because you're starting something with a team, and now they're like, okay, you think my bat's illegal? Okay.
I mean, anybody's going to take offense to it. Honestly, I would take offense to it. Like, just a little more, reading material for the next time they play, whatever. I don't want to look too far into it and make it that big of a deal. Trammell talks about it, messing with my character. He used to be there. He used to, he was a Yankee too. So it's like, I get where he's coming from. I understand it because from where I'm at, I take offense to everything. And that's just who I am and my natural ability. But at the same time, you got to understand it's very unnatural bat to look at and swing. Would you agree with me on that?
It is. But if you look at other guys' old hicks that they used during BP, it would take 3 seconds to look at it and be like, oh, old Hicks paint rubs off.
Yeah.
That's what it does. If you use we used to, I forget who it was, and ever since this happened last night, I was talking to Derek at Pinstripe Territory. I'm trying to figure out who it was. I played with a guy who uses BP bat every single day. And I felt like it was Adam Lind, but Adam Lind and Kevin Franzen didn't cross, so I don't know where it was. But I remember it was old Hick bat, and Kevin Franzen was like, oh, man, like that guy's got – he's got like he just must wear out his bat all the time. You always hit the same spot. I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Perfect spot, too.
Perfect spot. And he was like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
So he took the sandpaper and started sandpapering his BP bat and the paint off. And I'm like, this is sick. Like, it makes us look like good hitters, but it's just a BP bat. Yeah. That's not what, I don't know. If you bone your bat, which is helpful, in my opinion, less helpful for a maple bat, which that is clearly a maple bat. Nobody, the damn ash borer got ash out of the game, but you don't need to bone maple bats. So I just think if they were able to get a closer look at it, I don't think they would have done this.
Just a lot of overuse. It is what it is, And Boone did say he called before and asked about it, and they said, yeah, if he goes up again, see what you can do, I guess, from what I'm hearing.
He said that they indicated it could be illegal.
I don't think it's cheap. Like, I just watched the video of Davey Johnson calling out A-Rod right before his at-bat to confiscate his bat. And if you watch the video, Griffey's like airing out Davey Johnson. Davey Johnson, manager of the Orioles, is just sitting there like, they just wanted to, because A-Rod was killing them.
Yeah.
Griffey gave A-Rod his bat, hit a dinger. And so you're all they're thinking is a corked bat. That's what they're thinking. I don't know what the Yankees are thinking, but in the A-Rod situation, they're thinking a corked bat. I don't know what they could have been thinking on this one. Pine tar?
Maybe. You know what the funny thing was? Adrian
Johnson. Yeah.
He put the bat –
The umpire.
The umpire, excuse me, put the bat over home plate. So at first, we're like, well, is the pine tar too high? They were trying everything. I think maybe Boone's like, check this, check that. I don't know. But it's incircumstantial. They still ended up losing the game. Yankees took 2 out of 3. And, the biggest part about this Yankee team is you win series, you're going to move up in the ranks. And that's what they got to do. They probably should have swept them, but bullpen gave it away on day number 2.
If I'm Taylor Trammell,
Here we go.
And I was in the Yankees org, and I knew they were doing something. I'm like, oh, now it's on.
Of course.
Right? Anything, big or small. I'm like, if there's one thing that I caught there during the org, or one thing someone told me, they have opened up the floodgates. Right? One pitcher is kind of using a little sticky stuff and getting away with it, or whatever.
A spotter
right?
will do that.
Next time they face each other in the playoffs, they're like, I'm coming for you.
Timeout. Go check his glove. Go check it again.
It's kind of like shot for shot, right? Wouldn't you feel that way? Let's say you're in that situation and you're like, I know one pitcher that does something that's wrong, and I'm going to meet him up in the ALDS and burn him.
Now you got to remember, what rumors or what things. Yeah, go ahead.
Then I'm saying he's too late. As soon as I go over to a new organization, I'm telling them every single this guy, first base coach on this team, moves when the catcher moves. This is how he does it.
Yeah,
not that, not like tips and stuff. I'm saying something that's like a little bit shady.
Everything. You're
even
already
the shady
doing it.
stuff.
One game.
But
Scott.
Are you calling it out?
I'm telling my team, and they are going to do what they want with it.
But Joe Espada might say, you know what? We know some other guys doing that. But now it's like, it's on. They just called out our dude for having an illegal bat, and we believe it's not. It's on.
Taylor Trammell, if he's with the Yankees and then goes to the Astros, if he truly wants to win, he's already telling them what their signs were. Hey, what were your signs? Hey, what is the approach in this situation?
I'm talking about illegal things.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. There's not one.
This guy used sunscreen under his hat in
watch
2023.
Everything is on.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch this.
It's just a lot. Instead of just playing the game, it's a lot on his plate. And I don't know, if he's that guy that, would want to do that. But we'll see.
They said you're cheating the rules. When you ask an ump to check something, it's not like, oh, I'm curious. Like, this doesn't happen. How often does this happen during the year? 3 times, maybe?
It was definitely a unique situation. I don't know that they were like, I don't know if I would have felt so offended that like, oh, you think I'm a cheater?
Todd said he would have been, and I would have been.
I would have taken a little offense to it. I'm like, oh, man, what do you guys think I am? But ultimately, you're allowed to ask that question.
No doubt.
Yeah. So,
but then they might do the same thing
later
on. And if that's the case, you got to go, yep, that's fair.
You ever hit with a cork?
Over and
you
ever hit with a corked bat?
I've never hit with a cork bat before.
You didn't even try it?
I don't know how to make one.
I was hitting dingers. No, I'm kidding. But did you ever hit with a cork
MVP.
bat? How was it?
Oh, that's cool.
Not that big a deal. Like, it wasn't that much that I was like, whoa. It was the manager.
When you swing a newspaper, that's usually what happens.
Right.
See, I always swung a heavy bat anyway, so my bat speed was elite.
Yeah, you did.
It just wasn't in the zone very long. Right there. But it was actually John Schneider, the manager of the Blue Jays. It was his bat. And he was like, dude, this guy made this for me in the offseason. He's like, we got to try it. And I'm like, sure, I'll try it. It wasn't.
Not all it's hyped up to be.
Not as much to like use it in a game and like
risk your life.
Risk your reputation and stuff. Nah.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa was digging it. He got busted.
Old Sam
he was trying to get edges in a lot of different areas.
Correct. And he did for a long time. It worked for him.
Yes, it did.
Anyway, thoughts on this one? Obviously, if you're catching it later on, drop a comment. Let us know. But great series. And yes, the Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Astros. On the Houston side, Yordan Alvarez had 8 hits in the last 2 games. He's back.
8 for 10.
Ooh, I love when those 2 teams match up. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Coming up next, are the Seattle Mariners okay? Therapy session with our favorite, Ryan Divish. All right, one other thing. You remember when Austin Wells said they had the PitchCom issue and there's only one that's in Spanish? So we looked into it. The rules are each team gets 12 of the PitchCom devices, the receivers for their caps. And 6 of those are on the field and can be used at any given time, right? So you get 6 on the field, 12 total. You got your backups. All of them can be programmed into multiple languages. So you can put Spanish on there, Japanese, Korean, whatever you need. So when Austin Wells was like, well, we only have 1 in Spanish, I was screaming yesterday. I'm like, put more of them with Spanish. What are you doing? You got 12. Why wouldn't they do that?
I mean, if you look at their bullpen, if you look at their pitching staff, I mean, how many Spanish guys do they have that come in? You know what I mean? So it's really, I mean, I can't.
Got to have more than one, though, because you need a backup. That was my thing. I'm like, these things.
Those Johns always die.
They die all the time when pitch comes.
I think Michael K said it
He
best.
blasted it.
Why don't they understand, like, before the inning starts and making sure this is good, like before the games? I don't get it. I don't either.
I mean, Fernando Cruz. I'm sorry, not Fernando. Añelo de los Santos last night forgot to put it in his cap. He got a pitch violation. He got deked by Caballero.
That was very nice.
That was a great deke. And then there was one other one to Wells there's another pitch violation. But forget to put it in their hat. Like, I just think you have to be so on top of so many things to be a World Series team that to have one Spanish in your cap pitch com is just poor planning.
But also, Wells is the catcher. Can he then go to the team and be like, yo, we need 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Somebody, but like you don't ever think, hey, how's our backup? You have a backup for my like.
Dude, do. We have these freaking.
You're allowed 6, right? So the catcher and pitcher.
6 on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other 4 are.
No, the other 6 are sitting on the bench
Backups.
waiting for what?
Yeah,
fastball?
But the other 4
no?
go to fielders, any fielder that you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they don't have all their fielders aren't Spanish. So why would you need it in Spanish?
I'm just saying you got to have a backup.
Oh, the backup ones you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, so Duval, who already has pitch clock
sitting
issues.
on the bench. I got you. You should have at least one.
Spanish one malfunctioning. Okay, where's the next Spanish one?
There should be at least.
Hello?
We don't have it.
You're right.
Yeah, just give me a little bit.
Whatever.
There's very few things
strikes
where I can comment and be like, that makes no sense.
Spanish. Recta, fastball, a slider. Cambio, change up.
Cambio. I know that one. Ryan Divish covers the Mariners for the Seattle Times, one of our favorite guests on FT. Ryan, good to see you, man. And, of course, we wish that these were times that were a little easier to talk about in Seattle world. We gave them a ton of credit during the trade deadline for getting some things done, yet here we are. They're okay. They're in a playoff spot, but I'm going to start with the classic. Are they okay?
Well, I've talked about this before. I mean, this isn't new. I don't know if they're okay. I think they're in a familiar spot. I just actually wrote a story all about this, since 2021, they've had these little swoons at the end of every season, right around early September or late August. And, in 2022, they were able to play through it. They had enough of a lead that they could withstand it. The other 2 years, they were short. And I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know if they're okay in the sense that, like, Cal Raleigh lived this the last few years. J.P. Crawford, getting down to the very last week of the season and getting eliminated and knowing that you had a rough stretch that really kind of torpedoed your chances is something that kind of looms. And I think it's a motivating factor, but at the same time, I mean, like, I don't know if it makes them tight or, adds any additional stress to the situation, but they are not playing well right now, particularly on the road. And, they have this series against the Braves coming up, and they have a kind of an important road trip in a few weeks with 3 at the Royals and 3 at the Astros.
This travel has to be it. This travel, like the travel that they're on, they just keep getting crushed with this. And then Major League Baseball said, you know what? We're going to double you up on 2 East Coast trips. Do you ever talk from the players, honest chatter about being tired on these trips? Because they have the most, by the end of the year, they've easily logged thousands more miles than any other team.
Yeah, I mean, like the other night, we played in Tampa, 7:35 start time, and it's a getaway day. You're flying to Atlanta. It's a short flight, but 7:35 start time, game gets over at like 11:30. That's late, and the big thing is these guys all want to get 12 hours of sleep, and which I would kill to have half of that. But yeah, these East Coast trips are tough. And what the Mariners want to do, they don't want to keep going back and forth to the East Coast. They would prefer to try and bunch up the East Coast trips. But two in like the last 2 series, they were in Baltimore, New York, plus the Williams Park game, plus Philly. Then they came back for only 6 at home, and then we're back out. What was it? Cleveland, Tampa, and Atlanta. And yeah, these are long trips, and it does your 3-hour time difference. It does mess with them. I think the sleep factor is a problem. They talk about it a little bit. The humidity, because you guys have been to Seattle in July and August. It's beautiful there. There is no humidity, and it never gets above 85. You come out here, and it's a little different. So they've talked about it. I do think that they have not done themselves any favors by playing these guys as much as they have. I checked the other day. They have 5 guys that have played more than 135 games this year, and that's the most of any team in baseball. And that's significant. You're talking about Eugenio Suarez, who played a lot with the Diamondbacks, but J.P. Crawford, Cal Raleigh, and then Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez. All those guys other than Julio are 30 or above. So it does wear on you. And I think we've seen some fatigue in the last couple of weeks, just kind of grinding everything out.
All right. So obviously the roster construction didn't give them the flexibility, but let's be honest, a team like this who's right on the edge and doesn't have a lot of money to spend, they have to play all their best players. They have to play. Those guys have to play every single day, and I think they're young enough. So, unfortunately, this is where they're at going into September. But the biggest question for me is the starting pitching. How did this starting pitching just all of a sudden not show up? This was the superpower that we've been crying for the last few years. You know what? They're healthy. Oh, they're elite. They got it. And now they have pretty much Brian Wu right now.
Yeah, I think you're seeing some accumulation factors like, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, George Kirby, Brian Wu all went, season high in innings. I mean, Logan's progressed up to, he was over 200 innings last year, one of the few pitchers that did that. And Logan, George, Bryce all spent significant time on the injured list this year. And with Luis Castillo, I think we're just seeing kind of wear down. He was outstanding in the first half, but second half he started to kind of decline. He hasn't been able. There was a stretch where he just couldn't get that extra day of rest that they love to give pitchers, and I think that was a problem. So yeah, and what's really striking is their ERA on the road versus at home. I think at home they're top 6 or 7. On the road they're one of the 5 worst in all of baseball. And Bryce Miller talked about it the other day, is that sometimes when they get away from T-Mobile Park, where the ball doesn't carry as well and you don't get punished for a mistake, they get a little too fine. They get a little bit too on the edges. They're trying to make the perfect pitch instead of having the same mentality that they have at home, which was, no, here it is. We have good stuff. Here it is. We'll throw it in the zone early, get ahead early, and take their chances. And they just haven't done that on the road, especially on this trip.
Yeah, it's very one of those things about the Mariners. They always talk about their pitching, how good it is, and then the hitting needs to come up. I want to talk about one guy in particular, Eugenio Suarez. Came over, everybody's excited. It seemed to me, he's got 6 home runs, but he hasn't found his niche a little bit. What have you seen from him, and is he pressing a little bit, or is there, something else going on?
Well, as well as I do that Gino can be a little streaky. And he's just kind of in that lull where he's getting his bombs and hitting some power, but the strikeouts are there. I think, just the adjustment, it just seems like he was so hot in Arizona, there was going to be a cool-off factor. I thought it was picking up earlier on this road trip when we were in Cleveland. We saw some homers, a lot of hits, and I think they're just pitching him a little differently too. I've noticed that he can hammer a breaking ball, and I think they've really been trying to attack him differently with a lot of elevated heaters, trying to get ahead of him that way, trying to force some different kind of contact. Instead of trying to go soft away, he really is sat on some mistake breaking pitches, and people are making sure that if they're throwing a breaking pitch to him, it's well out of the zone, hoping they can get some chase. I think we'll see him pick it up here a little bit. He's just kind of one of those guys, where there'll be 7 days where it's unbelievable and 7 days where it looks like he may never get another hit. But we've seen some signs, the contact rate has been better and some things on this road trip.
What's it going to take for Cal Raleigh to win the MVP? I get it. He's put together quite a year. This swoon, this slide he's had in the second half is realistic. If he plays 155 games this year, that is crazy. I don't care if he caught and DH. That is crazy. But he's going to need all those games for the team to make the playoffs. So what does he need to do down the stretch here to overtake Judge?
I think he's got to pick up the production level, and the Mariners have to get in the postseason. I know some voters don't really subscribe to team success as a factor in all of that, but if the Mariners somehow don't make the playoffs and he has this monster season, but has kind of this slide in the last month, that will hurt him in the voting. To me, you look at what he does on a daily basis. He caught 6 straight games going into this road trip. I mean, we were in Cleveland. He caught every game there, including the day game after a night game. My guess is he's going to catch 90% of the games in this last month, just because he's that good and he can kind of control the running game. So if he just kind of continues to play as often behind the plate as he does, but pick up the production, start hitting homers, let's also start getting just some base hits, not just the power, I think he can win it. To me, what he does on a daily basis is just absurd. I can't fathom how much he's hurting. We watch every game where he's just getting beaten to death, and he won't complain, and he won't take himself out of the lineup, and he doesn't want an off day. And it's starting to really, I think we're seeing some of that, kind of come into effect here, where he's just beat up a little bit. The swing looks a little slower. You're missing some pitches that maybe normally you would hit or foul them off when you would normally drive them for a homer. But I would think this, the last 3 weeks here will kind of pick him up, with the adrenaline rush of the postseason looming. I think it'll be fine, but he's just got to kind of pick it up, and the Mariners have to get in the postseason. And I think he has a really strong case just because of the positional demands. I wrote a whole story on him last year. I followed him from a morning in spring training at 4:30, which was miserable getting up to meet him at the complex at 4:30 in the morning. And on a day where he didn't play in the game, he got there at 4:30 a.m. and left at 6:30 p.m. That's absurd. That's how much time he put in. He caught multiple bullpens, took hacks on the minor league field, did extra work, met with some pitchers, talked with a bunch of people. It was crazy. And he still does that almost every day. He's not getting to the field at 4:30 a.m. for games, but he's one of the first people there every day. And I mean, it's been just to see what he's done and to see the success he's had is pretty amazing.
You might have some recency bias here because you just saw Tampa. But which of the 3 teams who have all giggity amount of losses, the Rangers 1.5 back, the Royals 2 back, the Rays 2 back, and you just saw Cleveland 3.5 back, which one of these teams seems like they're the biggest threat to the Mariners if they continue to swoon and fall like they have recently?
I mean, the Rays looked ridiculous. Junior Caminero, like he was hitting P-rods all over the field, and they could have rolled it up there, and he would have hit a rocket. I was so impressed by him, like watching that guy take batting practices, a show. But what makes Tampa really special is that bullpen. Like they have everything that the Mariners want in terms of strikeout guys in the middle innings. You're bringing in Uceta and Baker and all those guys, and then you still have Fairbanks and you have Jacks. They get strikeouts. That's what you want in a bullpen. And I think when you get into these games late, if they can shorten the games, they can really be difficult to beat because, all Shane Baz has to do is give them 5 or 6, and he hasn't been very good. He was good against the Mariners. That's big. Drew Rasmussen's been great. I like the Rays because I like how they play. They're not real flashy other than Caminero, but they're pretty solid. The Guardians seem a little flawed to me, but you never know. When you have Jose Ramirez in your lineup, you're always pretty competitive. But I think the Rays could be a real threat. The one thing is they have real games coming up too. And playing Toronto several times down the stretch will be interesting to see where Toronto's at. If they have everything locked up, or if they're still playing for something, that will be a difference maker as well.
Ryan will armchair quarterback because it's fun, and the Mariners were praised for what they did at the deadline. I was one of those people that said, yeah, you need 2 corner bats. You go get them. Mission accomplished there. The only criticism I had, and I was like, hey, if we wanted to take this from an A, whatever I did, A or A minus to A plus, swing and miss guy in the bullpen. Everyone does it, right? They got Caleb Ferguson, but talking about a Duran, right? Or somebody like that was available. And there were other names too, of course. So if you're looking back and the way that you just described the Rays getting swing and miss, getting to the end of their game, is that what you would have done? Like if you could do a redo right now and just add to the trade deadline, Would you get them another reliever or something else?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in getting the swing and miss guy at the deadline if you can get it. And they really wanted a swing and miss guy. They went in on Duran pretty hard, and from everything I've been told, they thought they had a deal locked up with the Twins to get Johan Duran. And at the last minute, the last hour or two of the deadline is when Philly came in and upped the offer, and the Mariners just didn't or wouldn't match it. Maybe they should have. I haven't gotten the exact details on who they were offering, but you look at what Philly gave up. One was a catching prospect, so my guess is Harry Ford was probably somebody that the Mariners were willing to give up in that deal. They really wanted Duran, and they felt like they were going to get him, and at the last minute it kind of fell apart. And I think that was pretty dispiriting for them. And that's another thing too, is the Mariners have been really good about kind of finding relievers off we used to call them the island of misfit arms. You find Paul Sewald or you get one really good year out of Drew Steckenrider or JT Chargois, Justin Topa. They find these guys. They haven't been able to necessarily do that this year. Eduardo Bizardo is a guy that's been pretty good. And that's why they moved Emerson Hancock to the bullpen, is hoping that they could find a little magic there and get a little bit more swing and miss and just get some depth. Jackson Coar and Troy Taylor were guys who they relied upon, just haven't been who they thought they were going to be this year. And they were hoping they'd be something more.
All right. So after all this talk, and we talk about the hitters, the pitchers, the team, does this team make the playoffs come the end of September?
Yeah, I think they're going to do it. I think it will be the typical down to the last possible day. And they'll probably, last couple of days, why not make the anxiety as high as possible? It's been like that for quite a while. So I think they still have enough to do it. What will be really interesting is the Dodgers, they closed the season with the Dodgers at home. And, the Dodgers are in a real race now. It's not like in years past where they're resting guys and just kind of playing out the string to get ready for the postseason. Dodgers got to play. So they have the Rockies, then they have the Dodgers to close out the season at home. I mean, the Mariners still hold hope that they can catch the Astros. I think they're 3.5 back. They got 3 games in Houston, and that could be defining. But they just have to play a little bit better. Get better starting pitching, play a little cleaner in the field, and I think they'll be fine.
All right, we're keeping an eye on this one. I feel for Seattle fans. I want them to get some more playoff baseball. I'm sure that would be fun to cover. Ryan, good stuff, man. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. And actually, at the end here, welcome back. I don't think we've had you back since the little break, the little sabbatical, right?
Yeah, I took a little break to coach American Legion baseball back in Montana. Coach my stepson. It was pretty crazy. I had a few Aaron Boone moments where with the umpires, we ran into the Angel Hernandez of Montana umpires late in the season, so there was some incident.
You won't give him a shout out. Give him his name. Give him a shout out.
No, I can't do
I'm
that.
kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
no.
It's Montana.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Give him some love.
There's
man.
nothing more beautiful.
Yeah, give him some love.
There's no more.
If he's being Angel, he wants the love, right?
Yeah,
He wants the
I'm
attention.
kidding, bro. You don't have to say his name.
There's nothing
Blink
more
twice
beautiful.
if it was John. Anthony. All right, we're good. All right.
Nothing more beautiful than summer baseball in Montana.
You guys have all been to Montana. I know you guys have. So
Billings, baby. Oh, yeah.
Billings, Montana. So,
yeah, good stuff.
Nice. Well, Ryan, good to see you back. Thanks for the time, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. That's Ryan Divish, Seattle Times. Give him a follow. Great work.
He definitely got tossed out of 2 or 3 games.
I hope so.
The way he was talking like that.
Yeah.
Gotta let it eat.
FT fam, designer clothes can be expensive, but we want our clothes to look good. We want to feel good. We want them to be affordable. And Kratz, if you tell me that I can wear a t-shirt that looks like it's tailored, but it's not actually tailored and it just comes that way, then sign me up for True Classic.
Have to. You got to sign up for it because these shirts are soft, they're thin, they're durable, and they're very versatile. You can wear them to the gym. You can wear them out to a nice dinner. Let's get after it because these shirts are the real deal.
They are. Check it out. I've got one of the performance ones. It's a nice blue, fits well. I can go to the gym. I can go out. I can do FT in a shirt like this. FT fam, there's a reason why True Classic has sold over 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers, and they are racking up over 200,000 5-star reviews. See for yourself with our exclusive link at trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. You want to feel it? This is the one.
I don't have that fabric, but
Yeah,
I
the good
have
stuff.
the old school ones I like.
Feel
too.
this one.
Yeah.
I got the pants on.
Oh, easy.
There you go.
Easy.
Excuse me.
That was his pants.
Actually, look.
Look good, feel good. Very nice.
Play good.
Yeah. This is real thin. This is nice.
You could rock that. You got the chest for it.
Anyway.
I have mine sunken in.
No,
so
it'll
that's my problem.
enhance the chest the way you want it to be.
Your arms have just gotten
Yeah.
bigger. Your chest is.
It basically does bench press for you.
all on its own.
Yeah.
You're what you put the shirt on, your arms just automatically just do this.
You're like,
do a
wait,
couple.
did I just throw up 315?
Do I feel fit?
You say steak?
Anyway, give it a look. trueclassic.com/foul. Support the show. Visit the site. Tell them FT sent you. I'll throw this in here now because, we talked about it the other day, but Mets moves. Francisco Alvarez activated, even though both hands have been beaten up. Hopefully he's okay. And then Kodai Senga optioned. So he said okay to the option. He had to approve that. Got to work on things. It's that, or they're probably like, dude, you're in trouble. What were they going to do? Just let him sit on the roster?
That would have been tough.
Yeah.
A little easier in September because of the extra two guys that you get, but he's got to pitch. They weren't going to throw. He probably was like, I'm not throwing out of the pen. So go down to Syracuse, get your starts. Although, if he gets rocked, is that bad? If he deals, is that good enough?
Yeah, if he deals, it could be good.
To me, you have to have a plan. If they don't have a plan, then I'm like, no, I'm not getting optioned down.
They have a plan.
Anybody can get optioned.
Hey, so the Padres have been struggling, but so have the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. It's funny. There are a lot of good memes online where both fan bases are pissed off because they can't take advantage of the other fan base right now and be like, your team's trash, because they're both really going through it. But for the Dodgers side, Todd Father, they lost a couple games to the Pirates, and then it's like, all right, guys, we'll take the last one. And you look up and you're like, oh, it's Skenes.
Yeah. No, wrong guy. Yeah, it's amazing to me, because you come into the season how I did. I said Dodgers versus everybody. They're not going to lose this and that. They've had their struggles this year. They've had their injuries. I'm not making excuses, but they had like 5 or 6 guys for every 5 or 6 guys. So you're sitting there, you're looking now, you're like, my goodness, 78 and 62. Holy cow!
That's it.
That's it. They're not even going to reach 100 wins. So it's like, yeah, Paul Skenes or not, they got to find a way to win these games against one of the worst teams in the league. So, yeah, it hasn't been pretty for the Dodgers. Is that one of those things where once the playoffs come, all of a sudden, Mookie Betts turns into Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman becomes the hero of all heroes. So, there's been some good things about this, but God, if you're the Padres, this was an opportunity right now, man. They got, they lost back-to-back games in the playoffs not to move on. You talked about it. They had a chance to win it all if they did. This was their opportunity. Let's go. Put the pedal to the metal. So it's unfortunate for the Padres. The Dodgers, they're going to find a way to win a division, but the Padres had a really good opportunity here.
Does this most recent stint, I think it's the last 43 games, I think they're 19 and 22, does that make you think they're not a good team in the playoffs?
I still think they're going to be, because when those lights come on, the playoffs come on, it's a new season. And all of a sudden the stats go out the window and they all of a sudden what is that? Muscle memory. All right, we're in the playoffs now. Let me show the world. I feel like they'll be just fine. It just makes you wonder a little bit what's going on there.
But last year, the rhetoric was they go to the playoffs. Are they a regular season team? Max Muncy was on the show talking about, we know there's different things that maybe don't play in the playoffs that play during the season.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of flip-flopped. Listen, we're we're not Dodger hating. Like
No,
everybody
not
just
at all.
assumed the Dodgers
Not
have
at
the
all.
best record in the National League, and that would be it. And they're showing they're mortal with some superhuman players on their team. I just don't know if you have it confirms what I thought before the season. No team is a super team.
Yeah.
They just have a lot of depth.
Do they also have a problem against teams that are kind of garbage? This doesn't have to do with Skenes, right? Let's look at the bigger picture. But since August 1st, against teams with a 500 record or better, they're 11-4. That's electric. That's awesome. It is very hard to keep that up, right?
That's who they're going to face in the playoffs.
Point is that. Now, they're 4-12 in that same stretch against teams that are below 500. How many of those teams are they going to face in the playoffs? None. You got to be good teams, but do you have to be good teams if you're the Dodgers?
No, you have to win the World Series.
Right, you have to win the World Series. That's my point. So,
Yeah.
Todd Father, if you were try to put yourself in this exact spot, I'm on the Dodgers right now. I've been in the league for a while. I'm not worried about my roster spot. I am focused on getting ready for the playoffs. It's not like I'm not trying, but do you feel different when you're in Pittsburgh playing a game that matters? But again, you're going to be in October baseball versus I'm facing the Padres in this monster series.
I think you're more confused. Like, why are we not clicking on all cylinders right now? Why are we not winning these games that we should? I mean, you look at the Yankees, it's like a flip-flop. You know, Yankees are around a little over 500 against good teams, but they're crushing the teams that they should beat. So what side of the cake do you want? You know, do you want one or the other? If you're first in the division, you know you're going to make the playoffs. I think I want the Dodgers side, knowing that I'm beating the teams that most likely are going to be in the playoffs and that I'm going to have to face. So I would say Dodgers just confused more than upset. It's like, oh, this is an easy victory. Not easy, but this is a victory we should win.
But not jaded where, like Kratz mentioned, you're taking on the Pirates. This is their World Series. Hey, guys, season's been a mess. We get to face the Dodgers. We'll probably have a few extra butts in seats because they want to see Ohtani. Let's really bring our all. Let's empty everything out of the tank.
Well, why not do that every game?
But I thought it's a marathon. It's hard to do that. No,
no, it is. It is hard. Excuse me. I'm going to come up a little bit here. But, yeah, it is. It's a little difficult. But, again, it's just more confusing. After you lose a game like that, you get in the clubhouse, you're like, huh. The heck just happened?
A series like that.
Yeah.
They went 16 straight innings, getting shut out by the Pirates pitching staff.
Wow.
Then they scored 3 in the ninth, and then Paul Skenes came out. Like, Paul Skenes is going to do Paul Skenes things against
throwing
the entire roster. Is it concerning? Yeah, but it's also kind of a narrative. Like, Scott just said, oh, yeah, the Yankees, they lose against teams over 500. Who do you think has more wins over teams that have a 500 or better record? Because I'm saying it, It's the Yankees. Yankees at 46. The Dodgers have only beaten teams with a 500 or greater record 41 times. So Yankees have 5 more wins against 500 teams, 500 or greater. So I think, look, like there's certain teams that are not on the bubble. The Dodgers are not a bubble team. The Dodgers do need to clean some stuff up in the lineup, but they've shown they can be pitched to. I think when you win the World Series and you have superstars, you forget like they can be pitched to.
They're human too, yeah.
Yeah, like everybody knows the Yankees' weaknesses are they swing and miss too much, they can be pitched to, they strike out. And I think because they didn't win the World Series, everybody's rhetoric in their mind is, yeah, we're good. Like we can easily beat those guys. The Dodgers have shown they're not invincible. They're still one of the top 3 teams in the league.
I'll finish it with this. Any team right now going in the playoffs facing the Dodgers, I don't want to face the Dodgers in the playoffs. That's what they're saying. We got to face them. I don't care what their record is. If the Dodgers are in the playoffs, what they're going to be, shoot, we got to beat this team, best out of 5, hang with them.
It's been the offense right now. I said it yesterday. I'll say it every single day we're on the show. Without Max Muncy in the lineup, that is a game changer. Somebody has to have big-time at-bats. Yeah. But during this last 40 games, the starting rotation for the Dodgers has the lowest ERA in all of baseball. That is a stat that if you're going to play the Dodgers in the postseason, you're like,
Buena suerte.
Dang it. Freaking A. Like, I talked about the Padres bullpen yesterday as a superpower. The Dodgers rotation was built to be a superpower. They didn't want to go into the postseason with just a bullpen again. They've done it. So watch out, because Max Muncy's coming back, and he's going to start doing the Max Muncy things, and then this lineup is just going to start clicking. They're a very good team.
Yeah, they're lurking. Yeah, that's
They're
the thing
lurking.
is I look, I'm like,
Yes.
whatever. Everyone's going through lulls. Scary, scary team. But yes, they're not a 120-win team, as we continue to remind everyone all
But
year.
we need salary cap, right? Because it's not fair.
Yeah, not fair. Not fair that they're in the same pack as half
Save
the
it,
league.
Poppy.
Thank you. Taylor Rashi, Arizona Diamondbacks. Awesome story. Can't wait to talk to him next on FT. We're back, baby.
Guess who's back?
Back in the New York news.
I'll give a shout out during this break.
Okay.
Freddy Peralta, 5 more scoreless innings yesterday.
He looked good too.
Gotta give him some love.
Just
29.
a lot of pitches. That's my only problem. Just too many pitches. But
to get there, yeah.
He looked really good, and he's just the energy, the poise, the movements, the force coming up, and boom, here we go. And he threw a lot of fastballs and got a lot of Phillies guys out on 2-strike fastballs. In my opinion, it's heavy. It's heavy.
He's always been Freddie fastball.
Yeah.
Now
Fastball Freddy.
Fastball Freddy.
But
now he's mixing in more breaking balls. He can add that sweeper that gives him length to the side. Before, when I caught him, his slider was more like, because his fastball cuts, so his slider just kind of cut off of that. And guys that would stay on playing with him,
he didn't trust him.
It was easy.
He didn't think you could catch those.
I never caught Freddie.
That's what he told
Freddie
me.
I caught the veteran guys, bro.
But
Giovanni
Gallardo.
Woodruff, please.
No, that's way before my time.
Giovanni Gallardo.
Woodruff, Burns.
Yeah,
they were rookies at the time.
Oh, so who were the veterans?
I didn't catch. Jolise Chassin,
Miley,
Wade Miley
in the bullpen.
And then Manny P would catch Freddie, Chase Anderson, and then I would get the fifth guy, whoever the fifth guy was.
Who was the guy with the splitter on the Brewers? Did you catch him? It was a little before that, or it might have been around that time. Remember, there was one guy who had a really good splitter.
Everybody on the Brewers. That was like the thing.
There was one guy. It was a little before that group, but I think he caught the end of it. I'm gonna get it. It might be my thing for the entire.
Mike Fiers. They had Gallardo. They had
Giovanni Gallardo.
They had Figueroa.
When I say this name, you're going to be like, oh, I'll find it. I'll find it for the next break.
I love that.
Or someone else might find it first, but
I love those games.
I'll find it. He added a splitter, and it was by far his best pitch. It got him back to the bigs. I think it was pitching in Mexico, and then he had like a decent 2-3 year run. And it.
Javier Guerra. He was on the team.
Guerra?
Javi Guerra.
Javi. Yeah, I played with him.
No, not Javi Guerra.
Junior Guerra. Junior Guerra.
Yeah, he was the third guy that I caught.
Yes.
I would catch him, and he was, very nice split, added it, and mixed in the curveball there, too.
That's the guy. That's good.
Liddy.
Junior Guerra.
Diamondbacks rookie Taylor Rashi joining us right now on FT. Taylor, great to have you on. Thank you for the time. And since it's only been, a couple weeks, congratulations on making the show, man. How's life in the show?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great. It's a whirlwind of emotions right now. It feels like this last week and a half has been a month long, but it's been like a week. And it's a lot, but it's a good time.
You're a big leaguer now, bro. Nobody can take that away from you. My question to you, has there been anything in this couple weeks that you've been a part of that you've done something wrong that you didn't know about? Like when you come to the big leagues, I remember my first time I walked out with shorts and a T-shirt on, and Arthur Rhodes said, "Yo, what you doing, man? Get your, back up to and get changed." I'm like, oh my God, I had no clue. Like, did you do anything wrong that you got called out for yet?
Not yet. I think I've had some guys on the team. One of my teammates, Kyle Backus, he got called up earlier this year, and he did some of those things. So, like when he first heard about it, he sent me like a couple paragraph long text message saying, "Hey, do this, don't do that. Make sure you do this. Show up early." Like just the rookie things. But yeah, he gave me a good briefing on what not to do because I know that he went through some of those things.
What a great rookie! That's a good friend.
That's a great friend. That's big by him that you don't have to make his mistakes.
Yeah, I had a couple guys in AAA, guys like Casey Kelly and other guys that have they've been big leaguers a long time. They Casey went over to Korea, so he was able before I went up, he's like, "Hey, here's the kind of the ground rules. Make sure you're in early, out late. Don't wear this. Make sure you stay out of the way in the training room, things like that."
Yeah, but you're older than most of these dudes, so it's got to be different. I broke into the big leagues. I was 30 years old my first time, so I was a rookie for the Pirates, and man, I think 10 or 12 days into it was the trade deadline. They got rid of everybody. I went from one of the middle tier older guys to the oldest guy on the team with the least amount of service time. So when some of these dudes start giving you a hard time, you still have to sing on the bus. So I hope you have a song that you're ready to sing or play or dance, one of the two or one of the three. But
I do.
You got to make.
Yeah.
You do? Can you give us a preview of what that song's going to be?
The song I had to do this in college, so I have a little preparation. It's "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus. It's a pretty easy song, so that's what I kind of stick with.
Okay. So what's your first big league moment? You haven't been up there very long. What's your first big league moment that's something big league that you're like, dang, this is the show? I'm not talking about you're out where you got your first save, or you're in you're sitting in a bullpen and wow, the stadium's big, but something that's dang, Ketel Marte's jewelry or something, something big league.
There's a lot of that. I think my first big league moment was probably my first night. Even though I got optioned after my game in Milwaukee, I flew back with the team to LA, and so one of my relievers, Bryce Jarvis, took me out to a nice rooftop sushi dinner in LA, and I was like, okay, this is pretty show. This is cool.
I love that. Okay, so then for on the field moment, Taylor, you made 2 appearances, and you've been great.
Yeah.
You've racked up 2 saves already. Your first 2 appearances. That alone is pretty rare. Your story is rare and cool, and obviously Kratz has gone through something somewhat similar, right? Where you wait, you get your time now to strike. But did you expect that in your first 2 appearances you would be thrust into this kind of spot? I have to admit, I didn't catch the first one live. I caught the second one live. I watched, and I'm like, damn, this is a moment. I mean, it was the Brewers the first time around. That's best record in baseball. Second time around, it's Texas. They're fighting for their playoff lives, and I'm like, here's Taylor playing spoiler. So how cool was that? Because there's many relievers that go their whole career and they don't get to touch a save op.
Yeah, it's cool. I think the first time in Milwaukee, I was kind of just thrown into it kind of by luck. We didn't have a lot of available arms in the bullpen. Our guys have been grinding down in the bullpen, and I knew that I was kind of called up to fill some innings, and those innings just happened to be 7, 8, 9. I wasn't really expecting that by any means. It was crazy. I thought maybe I was going to go out for the 7th and the 8th, and then somebody would come in for the 9th, but after I walked in and after the 8th inning was over and they didn't shake my hand, I was like, well, here we go.
What is that like for you in your situation? You've been in the minor leagues. You've seen guys get optioned down. You've seen guys get DFA'd. When you're out there that long, do you ever think, man, this is so many innings. I'm going to be down tomorrow. I guess cancel your tickets, mom, dad, uncle, cousin, cancel your tickets. I won't be in I won't be in LA because they're going to definitely option me. I just threw 3 innings. Do you think about that? Do guys say anything to you?
I knew it was coming. I knew just the position I was in. I knew once I went out there for that 3rd inning, I kind of sat in the dugout and I was like, well, I need to make the best of my opportunity right now because I know I'm going to be down for 2 days at least. And they're going to need guys to fill innings. So I was like, you know what, like, this is my opportunity. I got to go make the most of it. And yeah, I did have to send out those text messages after the game, like, hey, like, I'm not going to be on the team in LA, so don't bother coming.
That's good. You saved some money. You didn't have to get a bunch of people tickets because you would have played for free if you went out to LA and you had to get everybody tickets. But my question is probably one that's been asked a million times, but I'm asking it because it got asked of me a million times as a 30-year-old for myself going up to the big leagues. How many times did you think about quitting? And my answer was always a freaking ton. But I was fortunate I never had any injuries. What is that for you? What is the main time that you were like, yeah, this is probably when I should quit?
It was probably when I tore my lat at the end of the 2022 season. I was in AA. I was having the season of my life. I think I had like a sub 2.5 ERA. I was cruising. I was having a great time. And then, we went up to Portland, Maine. I tore my lat and I was just sitting there in the hotel after the game. And I was just like, man, like there's a very good possibility that this is it. Like I'm getting up there in age. I don't throw very hard. Like this could be it. And all throughout rehab, you rehab for a year, and I spent the entire year living in hotels. And there's days where I would just wake up and I'm like, man, what if I just don't go to the field today? Like there's nothing. Like I don't know if there's an end of the tunnel with the light in it. There was times where I was like struggling to just motivate myself to get to the field, to do my lat rehab. And, I just kind of felt like sometimes I was like, I don't know if this is all worth it.
So there was countless times that you thought about quitting, and it's hard to
numerous.
It's hard to even like conceptualize or like put it on paper. Was there somebody that kept you going? Was there somebody that like pissed you off that you're like, oh, screw that, I'm gonna show that person? What motivates you to keep going?
Yeah, there's a kind of a decent amount of those people. I have a little list in my phone of people like throughout my career, starting in like high school, that have like told me like, hey, like you're too slow, you don't throw hard enough, you're not good enough, you're out of shape. Like just people throughout my entire career that have told me like, hey, you're not, like, you don't have a chance. Like there's less than 1% of, people that play baseball that make it. Like, why are you that person? So like, yeah, there's a pretty solid list of people where I'm just like, like I have to prove these people wrong. I like proving people wrong. It kind of is my motivator. And so, yeah, there's a list of people, and a couple of them got text messages.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, receipts, baby. I love every second.
That's not even receipts. He's cashing them receipts in.
He's like, ching, there's 1, 2, ching, ching. Love every second of that. That he might have a little jersey in him, though. I like that. He definitely does. Little swag piece. My question to you is, I want to talk about minor leagues a little bit, about the pitchers. I know you guys, understandably, you talk a lot. Is there a main focus on velocity? Like, do you guys always talk about velocity and how much, in the big leagues and where you're at now, it's about speed and movement on the baseball?
I mean, yeah, there's always less from the staff, less from like pitching coaches and all that stuff. Cause like you have what you have, and like gaining velocity in the season it's hard. It's almost impossible, especially after a long season. But like throughout the pitching staff, the bullpen, like everyone's trying to find something that, is going to give them an extra mile or two an hour. And that's something I struggled with a lot last year. I got sucked into those conversations, and I tried all year. I was throwing weighted balls. I was doing everything, doing the extra stuff in the gym, going out on the mound and like trying to throw harder. I was really focusing on like, hey, how can I, get my average fastball velo up a mile an hour or two? And that really led to me being less efficient, throwing less strikes, not hitting my spots. And, this year I kind of just accepted. I was like, you know what, I'm going to be that guy that throws 88 to 91. And I just have to accept that. And I know it will probably take longer to get some recognition just because I don't throw very hard. But eventually my thought was, you know, results are going to end up outweighing the what if he threw 93, what if he threw 94 type talk that I know people have.
Yeah, they're always going to talk about that, but you got 2 saves in the show, so piss on that heavy ball and running and gunning and throwing it as hard as you can, and, you know, ball 4 never gets an out. But my question to you is, you're with the Diamondbacks. When I watched your video, when I watched the game the other day, we brought it up here, and I said to Scott, I said, who do you think that guy looks like? Who does he pitch like? Is there a direct comparison of a probably 2012 Diamondback pitcher? You probably don't even know him, but his name probably has come up because he came up through the Diamondback system. Is there? Are you compared? Are you compared to that person?
Yeah, we talking about Cole Mentor?
Yes, and is that unfair because he was shorter than you were, so that's not cool. But the pitching, do they mention that as Diamondbacks, you know, staff and stuff?
I mean, I've heard that for the last like 3 or 4 years. I remember, you know, briefly watching him when I was younger, and I never really put it together. And then my coach at UC Irvine, Ben Orloff, called me in the office one day in the offseason. He goes, hey, like, you know, you don't throw very hard, but you throw exactly like this guy. And I was like, who throws like me? Like, I know I'm unique. I know I'm weird. Like, and he pulled up a video, and I was like, I throw exactly like him. So, and he's like, just keep doing that. One day it'll work out. And thankfully it did.
Definitely did.
We got measurables.
We got measurables.
Close.
I'm wrong. I thought Cole Mentor was more like a 6-foot guy. 6 foot, like 210, 220. He's 6'3", 240. You're 6'4", 220. I thought you were much taller, but
and use the extension too, right?
Can you dive in? Can you dive into that at all in the sense of like the extension that you get and what that? I'm not going into the numbers of analytics because I think we'll bore some people, but there's no way you haven't been able to successfully increase your velocity from what you said. Have you been able to successfully increase your extension, your angle of attack, your spin rate in ways that has helped you way more than 2 or 3 miles an hour on your velocity would?
Yeah, I've always been a guy that's had pretty good extension. I get around 7 feet of extension on any given fastball. And so I kind of was just lucky that I've always had that, and I didn't really know I had it until I got into professional baseball, because that's when all like the analytics and they start telling you all this stuff. But yeah, that kind of stuff has really helped me because I know it makes my 88 look a little bit faster. And just I've heard from like our first basemen, our shortstops, or second basemen, like when they talk to hitters that are hitting off me, they're like, it says 88 on the board, but it gets on you a lot faster than any other 88 like that they've seen. So I know that the extension helps me a lot.
Do you know how? First of all, do you remember who told you that? Was it just some like dude who was like, "Excuse me, Taylor, you have incredible extension," or was it like, do you remember the coach?
No, I don't remember the coach per se. I just know that it would come up in meetings, just like with, you know, pitching development staff and stuff like that, that it's like I have good extension. And to be honest, I never really was one, since I'm a little bit older, that was heavy into analytics or even like trying to understand them, because they're all just so arbitrary to me. Like I still to this day, I don't get understand a lot of the numbers. But they're just like, hey, don't change that. And I was like, well, I don't plan on changing how I pitch, so I don't think that's going to change.
I wouldn't know how to change it if I could.
Yeah.
So do you know, because everybody compares velocity. Everybody's going to say Ben Joyce throws this. On your team, Justin Martinez throws triple digits. Extension is a real thing. Do you know how you compare your extension compared to other guys that have elite extension? I know we might be nerding out, but like guys need to know where you compare and why you, in my opinion, could have a really good career.
Yeah, I kind of know where I stand as far as extension. I know there's there's a lot of guys with more extension than me. I mean, you got Mizorowski nowadays, I think he's like 7'5", 7'6" extension or something like that, still throwing 100. So I can't imagine what that looks like. But I know just from what I've been told and like numbers I've seen that, you know, I'm pretty high up there on the extension list, or at least above average. And so I think that helps me a lot, and it helps me have confidence in the fact that, okay, yeah, I throw 88, but it moves a little bit and it gets on you a little bit faster than what the board says.
It should. I'm only saying this because I want to encourage kids who are pitching that don't have 95 at 16 years old, that this is the beauty of baseball. You have a superpower. Go out there and know that you got a freaking superpower, and you can get everybody out. Because when they get out, they're going to look at the board and go, oh, man, how'd this guy get me out? And then every 2 weeks, you're going to get a big league check in your pocket. And that is the beauty of baseball, coming from a guy who did, like I said, didn't make the big leagues until I was 30. And you have to find your way. And it's your way, because when you get optioned down or DFA'd, nobody cares. But you do. So you have a superpower. It's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a crazy thing, because even when I was 15, 16, like I threw a lot slower than I do now, and it took a long time to realize that like I was still able to get people out not throwing hard, and then it took me a little bit longer to have confidence in that, and then once I just said screw it, like that's what I got and that's what you're gonna get, that really kind of helped me a lot.
Well, it's an awesome story. We appreciate the time. These are great ones for us. Yes, we've got the man with experience on the desk here. So, not many shows where you're like, yep, I'm getting interviewed a guy who took just as long. Yeah.
Longer. He got there way before. So he must be a prospect compared to me. But now Scott said we were questioning how to say your name. What's the worst PA announcing of your last name that anybody's done?
I think the worst one is probably Rashi. It's they say it like with a U in there, like Rashi Rice, like the football player. I think that's probably the worst one. But
that's the worst one. Not Rashi. Like, oh, here comes Rashi again. He's real Rashi.
Well, that's actually how you pronounce it. So that would be right.
Oh,
Rashi.
What, you thought it was Rashi?
I thought it was more. I didn't think it was
a mix of A and A, because that's how I kind of heard it. Like Taylor Rashi, which a little broadcaster trick. If you don't know, that's how you do it, right? Like
you just mix.
Yeah, you hear the mix on a lot of names.
He's pro.
That's what you do, but it's Ra, not Ra.
Yeah. So everyone, teammates, coaches, everyone always calls me Rashi, which I'm totally used to. But no, the right way is Rashi.
Boom. Nice. There you go. Beats Rashi.
The more you know.
That's what we used to say about Todd too. He's very Rashi.
You just
what?
Nothing.
Hey, well, this was great, Taylor. Thanks for joining us. Now the world knows the name, and keep doing your thing, man. It's a great story.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll be right back, FT fam. Actually, with a little update to the story from earlier. All right, I guess we'll do this here because the YouTube crowd gets all the good stuff.
Yeah, of course.
The OGs.
The MLB came out with the ruling. So Taylor Trammell's bat was technically illegal, but the office of the league determined that Trammell's bat did not give him a competitive advantage, and the umpires treated the situation like an impermissible glove color or design and told the player he was no longer permitted to use the bat. And that's happened before, right? Hey, you can't have that coloring on your glove, on this piece of equipment, on your hat, blah, 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 right? No?
Yeah. No,
It doesn't happen really anymore with the glove.
But if the league lets
it happens with the glove. I saw
it definitely happens with the glove.
The
it just
glove is the
with
most
Strom.
common. Strom, they didn't let him do his thing on
that all
Players
the kids,
Weekend.
That all the kids from the hospital signed. Major League Baseball was like, no, it's a white glove. You can't. So, but Players Weekend, we can have like swords,
every color,
and the Fanatic on bats, and we can have Pokemon on bats, but
Crayola.
But we can't have a guy using his BP bat that has a worn off spot on it.
Why?
Because
So
Major League Baseball just needs
advantage-
to make rules.
I don't know. It's stupid.
There's no advantage. Now, if they find like pine tar on there,
Sure.
some guys used to groove their bats. That adds extra pace to the ball, a little backspin, just like a golf ball and a golf club and a golf ball.
Can't say backspin anymore.
That's not a thing. That's not allowed.
They changed that.
What does
What'd
that
they
turn
call
to?
it?
It's called launch spin.
Launch.
Oh,
Nobody backspins
Launch handle.
baseball.
No,
I actually heard a guy say that.
All I did was backspin.
backspin.
baseball.
Yeah.
I heard a guy say people don't backspin baseballs.
Oh,
They
God.
square them up at the right angle.
Yeah, there's no square in a baseball.
What
and a
happens?
baseball
What happens
bat.
when you square? What happens when you square up a baseball with your swing?
With my swing? It would probably go right into the ground. I don't know.
Knuckleball.
No. Oh yeah, it's true too.
You would hit it and be like, so now if you square it up, perfectly square it up with this, you're going to hit a knuckleball in the air? No, backspins. You want to click the bottom third of it. Oof, cut that ball, Todd.
I can feel the backspin when you do that.
I'm gonna get some swings after this. I
Yeah.
got to get ready for the home run derby again. Let's go.
So everyone's okay. Taylor Trammell has a bat that doesn't give him an advantage, but he can't use it because it's not.
I hope they gave it back.
Because it
traditional
looks
color.
indifferent. Yeah, that's part of baseball.
Okay.
And we move on.
But yeah, got it.
Told you. What did I
Was
say
it
at the
worth
beginning?
it?
Nothing
Was it worth
sandwich. Yeah, got a double.
No, not for Taylor. Was it worth it for the Yanks to say, hey? It
Yeah.
was? Okay.
Nothing sandwich.
In the weeds. We played this game recently. We're going to play it again. Biggest concern facing a contender. There's another article out in The Athletic. And it brings up different questions. This time, it's more specific. Last time we went over this was more of a theme with a team. This time, it's like, for example, Phillies. Who's starting game 2 of the playoffs for you? Detroit. What's your pitching after Tarek Skubal, which we've gone over on this show actually earlier this week. There's some questions about offenses.
I think there's questions about every single team.
So which one do you like, though? Which one do you want us to do?
Oh,
this is
man.
Friday where you get to just look at the board and you get to pop off. If you're an OGFT fan and you remember that segment from 2023. Cookie pop, candy pop.
Candy pop was
Do you remember
legit.
that?
I don't.
Anyway,
You don't remember that?
no free.
Listen, I'm
You
with
popped
you.
off.
I'm with you.
What?
I like it. I don't-
Todd, answer the question.
I was.
You don't
God,
remember what it was.
I used to throw candied popcorn into your mouth.
No free advertising.
No free advertising.
I mean,
You remember?
What's the biggest concern of any team? Because everybody
pitching,
has concerns.
Well, it's pitching.
but
for
any
sure.
individual team.
Yeah,
What is
no
the
blanket.
one?
Well, I wanted to say the Mariners, but I feel like they're still set. Their pitching is really good. I mean, I'll go with Boston. Garrett Crochet has been really good, but these other guys just haven't been a part of it. I mean,
You're saying lately they're great, but you don't know if you trust it in the playoffs?
I don't know if I trust it in the playoffs. I
Okay.
don't.
Outside of Crochet? Or
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying
yeah,
what Crochet's
yeah.
recently done, you feel like he's
Well, no, I feel like he'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Don't do that to Garrett. He's really good. Okay.
Yeah. He's
No,
probably number
I mean,
2 in American League.
Giolito, hit or miss. God, Bayo. I don't know.
Are
Not
there
sure.
some pitchers where you watch them and you're like, that's more of a regular season play? Like, not that they can't perform in the playoffs, but are there some guys that you'd face and you're like, man, when this guy faces the top competition on the planet, the top team this year, whatever, he's going to get roasted?
I think there's guys that, I don't think his stuff plays in the pressure of the postseason. Not that he like a certain pitcher will fold, but just more like, sorry, his stuff's not elite. Everybody's amped up. Everybody's juiced. The bats are a little bit quicker. I think whatever your strength is, it's magnified in the playoffs. If you can hit a fastball you could hit a bullet in the playoffs. And I think some pitchers you look at it and you're like, he just empties the tank every single pitch. I was talking about it last night on Pinstripe Territory. I think that's what Carlos Rodon used to be. He was just first pitch out, empty the tank, best slider. Last night, what I saw from him was he was able to locate some pitches that then later on, if he needed a strikeout, if he got in a jam, bang, he went to it. And he never needed it, so it's like there's two levels to pitchers. And if a pitcher doesn't have that second level, those are the dudes in the playoffs I don't think are going to give you what you're looking for. They might go 3 innings. They might go 4 innings, but their manager's just waiting to hit the bullpen button. Just go to the bullpen. And they know it.
You know,
the team will let you know. No, you're good.
The team that I know we have up here that I'm not worried about is the Tigers.
Really?
AJ Hinch was one of the most this guy is playing chess when everybody's playing checkers, dude. He will start the guy for 1 inning. Next guy comes in for 2. Like he has his sheets. Oh, day 2, day 3. He's got 800 different things about exactly what he wants to do. I want to see if they can move up a little bit more after what they did last year. It would be fun to see the Tigers make a big push.
But you don't have as many question marks with them?
Yeah, I mean there is, but in AJ we trust. That's all. I was so blown away when I did those games last year. This guy was unbelievable.
In fairness, I see what you're saying because last year they truly had Skubal and then chaos. This year, there's concern after Skubal. But can Jack Flaherty give you some good innings in the playoffs?
Sure can.
Absolutely. Can Casey Mize get through an order once or twice and make you feel good? Absolutely. So I actually agree with you that from a depth perspective, there is more to it. I think they'll have an easier time getting through the beginning of a game and be a little bit less Skubal reliant. We talked about this the other day, Kratz. They were completely Skubal reliant. They're like, if Skubal wins every game for us, we can go the distance. If he has one blip, we're done. This year, if he has one blip or one not banger start, I think they can still win a series because Jack Flaherty last year was like, oh, he's amazing in the playoffs. Then he gets rocked. So if you get that version of Flaherty, great. And he gets swing and miss. Jack Flaherty's stuff can play in the playoffs if he's feeling it. So I agree with him on that front. Did I want the Tigers to do more at the deadline? Sure. But, I mean, they've transformed Kyle Finnegan as long as he's okay from the other day. He's a strikeout machine now. Kyle Finnegan just got paid like triple what he was going to get in the offseason, right? He made like $6 million last offseason. He's probably going to sign a 2 or 3 year deal for like $6 to $8 million a year. Like he might sign 3 years, 21, because they said, hey, you use your splitter 30% of the time. Let's go 50. Boom. Strikeouts. I mean, it was, I don't want to sound dumb because I'm not inside there, but like it did look that simple on paper. You're like, strikeouts are up a ton. What is he doing? Pitch mix. Oh my gosh, he's using his slider 20% more.
It's so cringy.
Splitter.
Yes, I knew what you meant. It's so cringy that the Nats just have never seen this, and they had him. He was successful. He works hard. He was in big spots, and they just never unlocked that. That's tough to see. But for me, the one that facing the contending teams, because we're talking contending teams, that's the only reason they're on this list, is the Cubs. Are the Cubs going to be okay? How is Kyle Tucker going to come back from this injury? Is he been playing with it for a while? Is this time off that he's going to have going to get him completely healthy? Because if he's not completely healthy, see ya. Okay. It's going to be quick, and that's why I hesitated even talking about the Cubs, because I think they're a 2-Q. I mean, a 3-game series. I just don't see how, unless this offense changes what they're doing. PCA gets back on a heater, stops swinging at so many pitches.
Seiya Suzuki too.
Seiya Suzuki
so good for a while.
He was so pissed that he didn't make the All-Star game, which he should have, and then he forgot to come back for the second half. And now he's got to play right field, and I'm afraid that if he's in right field, is that going to wear him down? Is he already worn down? Is he dealing with something? It's a big month. You can change things in September. You can make those adjustments. Fortunately, they have a big enough lead that they're going to be in the playoffs. They need to figure it out.
All right, good questions. Good talk. Next up, Ken Rosenthal, last guest of the week on FT. Hey, we're back, and we contribute to a blog called The Roar Blog, part of the BetMGM network. So the latest article we put up, 3 MLB bat speed kings you should know. You know who that is on the screen?
Oh, it's Barger.
Addison Barger.
He looks like he has great bat speed when he hits.
His name has good bat speed.
Well, you'll see it this weekend when the Jays. This man is not getting cheated.
93rd percentile bat speed. Because some of the bat speed guys at the top, it's like, okay, we know Giancarlo. We were looking for guys that have emerged. Yeah, we were looking for guys that have emerged that if you're talking to a more casual fan, they probably don't know who he is. So the 3 names we put on there were Addison Barger, Kyle Stowers, and Hunter Goodman. They're all in the top 50. And before the season, if you even talk to most moderate baseball fans, they'd be like, huh? Who? What?
Boy.
And they've all had great years. Barger's fallen off a little bit. He's definitely a kind of a hit or miss guy, right?
Mm-hmm. I think
they all have. I mean, Goodman's probably kept it the most of the 3, but Stowers also is hurt right now.
Yeah, I would say Stowers. If you're talking about like who could keep it going, I think Stowers has the best approach. But with these guys, bat speed normally coincides with dudes that go straight up and then back up again. It's hard to see a guy stay consistent when they're just absolutely just rolling the pole. I would like to know what your bat speed was. I would like to know what guys I played against, what their bat speed was. Because they used to have that like thing you put on your knob.
Yeah, that little clear rubber.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it just depends on, I've reached like 115 a couple times.
Exit velocity.
Oh, you're talking bat speed.
This is
bat speed's different because it's new. Yeah, the bat speed for these guys.
They have
a miles per hour on it. Yeah, so like
I just wouldn't want to know while I was playing.
Is that from here to here, or is that on contact?
Your swing. Your highest swing speed, it captures it from the Hawkeye cameras or the cameras that they have.
No, I would have loved to know too now.
There's a lot of guys. There's a delineation for prospects where they're like, oh, he's not at 70.
Yep.
Not worth a look.
Yep.
Because it's small, right?
Yeah.
Like the top guys are in like the mid to high 70s. But they're like, oh, this guy is 68 bat speed, not going to make it.
It's a way to tell if a guy's going to be able to hit a ball hard, even when he swings and misses a lot.
Yeah.
Let's hit the inside scoop with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal. Ken, we have gotten this question the most in the past 2 hours, so I'm like, I'll bring it right to you. Have you ever seen anything like what the New York Mets are doing with their pitching call-ups? Now 3 in a 1-month span, and this isn't just back-end filler. This is tryouts, auditions for October.
Scott, I don't know that I have ever seen anything like this at this point in the season with a contending team, particularly one in the largest market in the country. But it's where they're at, and credit to them in a way, because one of the things David Stearns was charged with when they named him president of baseball operations was revamping and revitalizing their farm system, their infrastructure, their drafting, developing, all of these things. And they're doing that. And they're getting there with these guys. Now, I don't know if all of them were drafted under Stearns. I would doubt that. I haven't looked at that. But it's a credit to the development, certainly, that they're at this point. And you know what? Whatever it takes, right, guys? If these are the best pitchers for them right now and into October, then that is what they're going to do. And the move of Senga to AAA today, that is surprising, though Will Salmon of The Athletic certainly hinted at it and wrote about it a couple days ago. But again, this time of year, and you guys know this, Todd and Erik, as well as anyone, it's all about performance. And all of the other stuff is secondary. This is not tryout time. This is performance time. And what's incredible is that the Mets have 3 non-established pitchers giving them this kind of performance. Now, obviously, McLean's the only one who's done it under a sustained amount of time, and even it's not that sustained. But we'll see how Sproat does and how Tong does going forward.
All right, Ken, I had to disagree with you. You said they get credit. David Stearns, who's one of my favorite because I worked with him with the Brewers, he gets credit for this, and the development staff, everybody gets credit for it. But doesn't David Stearns also get a little bit of blame for the fact that they have to bring these guys up? The fact that Sean Manaea goes down and he is your best signing in the offseason, and you hope Kodai Senga, who had a calf injury and didn't pitch last year, like, he gets blamed for this too, no?
Erik, absolutely right. And don't get me wrong, I was talking specifically about those 3 guys and the credit for that. But you're the other side of this, and you mentioned it, and it's absolutely fair and accurate and right to mention. Montas, down, hasn't contributed at all. Sean Manaea, who they thought would be really good, and no one questioned that signing when they made it. Everyone thought it was a great signing by them, their fans, pretty much everyone in the industry. Hasn't worked out so well. And I would argue Clay Holmes, as good as he has been, and he really has been in his first year of starting, been good, he is a guy that you can't necessarily count on to go deep into games at this point of the season. So, yes, this plan that Stearns embarked upon, last year it worked extremely well. Remember, Severino, Quintana, Manaea all pitched really well. We're talking about these free agents on short-term deals. Did the same thing again, hasn't worked so well. And it's such a difficult thing to identify free agent pitching and get the right guys. Because if you go long, you're going to get bit one way. And if you go short, you run the risk of getting bit this way. You're not getting the same caliber of pitcher. At the same time, you're not making the same kind of commitment. And sometimes it's going to work. And sometimes, as we've seen, it's not. And I was one of the people praising Stearns at the start of the year. Oh, man, look at the Mets again. They've done this. Remember, they're pitching through the first 2 months. Their starting pitching was, I believe, the best in baseball. Hasn't sustained itself.
I want to talk a little AL East action right now. We got the Yankees and Blue Jays coming up. Excuse me. Looking at the pitching matchups, Cam Schlitter has been absolutely phenomenal, but Kevin Gausman has been really good against them. Talk a little about what you're expecting to see and how this race is going to unfold at the end, in your opinion.
Well, it's really interesting tonight. The first game, as you mentioned, Schlitter versus Gausman, and Schlitter is the Yankees version of what the Mets have. And I just read a story about him in the Athletic Day by Chris Kirschner. I'm not trying for shameless plugs here, but it was a good story about how Schlitter wasn't really a guy they thought was going to be all that much. He was thrown in the low 90s at best. And then this season, gained weight, velocity jump, and now he looks the part. He looks like a guy who can be included in a playoff rotation. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we'll see. For the Yankees, that was a really important series in Houston in my mind, as crazy as it was, for them to win the series, to show they could beat a good team, and now they have to beat the team that has haunted them the whole year. The team that I believe it's 10 errors in 12 games against them, or 12 errors in 10 games they've made. They've played poorly against Toronto. They've got them at home here. And in my view, this is a critical series for the New York Yankees. Just to sustain whatever it is they've built over the last couple of weeks. They're still not playing the cleanest brand of baseball we've ever seen, but they're doing some really good things. And Trent Grisham's season, to me, is one of the great surprises and great stories of 2025.
All right, you have the Rangers-Astros series. Normally in Texas, whatever they call it, the eye of Texas are on you. I don't know what all the song is, but
the heart
of Texas, yeah. Is this a series that we should actually be watching, not just because you're going to be on it and you do an incredible job of being on the sideline for these games, but is this a series that's going to actually be close with the Rangers being out, with the Astros really not playing great baseball, but they have Yordan Alvarez coming off a bad series with the Yankees? Like, is this something that, like, it's just going to be kind of in the wash?
No, I don't believe so, Erik, and I'm not just saying that because I'm doing the games. If you look at the standings, the AL wildcard standings, where the Rangers are incredibly right there, and even the AL West, where the Rangers have a little bit to go, but the Astros-Mariners has not totally decided. it's a meaningful series. And it's really more meaningful for the Rangers, who are trying to finally get on a roll without some of their best players, Evaldi and Seager and Semien. And yet in the past 2 weeks or so, they've played much better with some of these scrappy guys that they have. It's kind of incredible what they've done without the players that I just mentioned. So the series definitely has relevance. And DeGrom goes on our broadcast tomorrow night. The Astros aren't quite set on their rotation because of the Arrighetti injury. They've got to figure it out. The original plan was DeGrom versus Hunter Brown tomorrow, which would have been amazing and still might be amazing if they go that way. But Hunter Brown might end up pitching tonight.
The Rangers, with all of those main guys, with Seager and Semien, I'm not saying it's their fault, but I'm saying we've always questioned since 23, where is this offense? And with the new infused energy, I don't think you use that word, but I'll use the energy, the young guys that are playing, rookies that are coming up playing. Does it go to the fact that possibly there has been a little bit of a malaise since winning that with the regulars?
I don't think that's an unfair statement. And I don't know that I would call it a malaise due to winning. One of the issues that this team has is Seager and Semien, as great as they are guys who are very low-key. Seager is kind of to himself, does his own thing. Semien is one of the hardest workers in the game, one of the more durable players until this latest injury, but he is not what you'd call necessarily a vocal type. And in the offseason, they brought in Jock Peterson and they brought in Jake Berger in part because they wanted the edge that they believed those players would provide. They thought, not unfairly, they had a bunch of nice guys, but they didn't have guys who had that kind of different competitive edge that sometimes you need. You need a different mix of personalities in your clubhouse. So it hasn't worked really to the satisfaction of anyone until lately. And you're absolutely right, Erik. The players that they have been using have brought a lot of energy to what they've been doing, and it's seemingly helped. Now, my question is, and I think we'll get somewhat of an answer this weekend, are those players good enough? And Seager's coming back probably next week, it sounds like, and Semien's less likely and Evaldi's less likely as well. But Seager alone would make a big difference. This series, though, it's going to be a challenge just getting enough offense and doing the things that they've been doing to keep this going.
Hey, Ken, I didn't think I would ask you about this team at this point in the season based on how they had performed over the last couple months until a week ago, but how surprised are you that the Rays have a chance to make the postseason and make things interesting? And if you can include in your answer their trade deadline, I think it's important because they had a chance to unload some other veterans, and it seemed to me like they held back because they're going through a sell process, and maybe Stu Sternberg wanted to see the team be competitive down the finish line. It's your team. You're the owner. You can do whatever you want.
I am surprised by what they've done, and I will tell you this, Scott. They're surprised. I was talking to one of their people just a few days ago, and this guy was saying, man, we've got this great run differential. It's right there with Toronto's, and yet our record is this. Theirs is that. We should be better. It's crazy. It's baseball. And it's one of those years we just can't explain. And then they started winning. And they had the great sweep of Seattle. And they've really kept it going over the last, a week to 10 days, I would say. Now, as for the deadline, it was kind of an odd deadline for them. Certainly, they did bring in Griffin Jacks. And they did do some things. But it wasn't situation where they were trading Yandy Diaz, trading Brandon Lau, doing anything like that. It seemed to me they didn't want to go and give up on the season in what is almost certainly Stuart Sternberg's last season. I don't know how much that was a factor, as much as necessarily perhaps they just thought, you know what, we're not really out of it. We've got a shot here. Well, let's see what happens. Remember, at the time, they thought Kim was coming back. They thought good things were going to perhaps happen. And it didn't play out that way necessarily, but here they are now, and you have to give them a lot of credit, and you have to kind of fear them because they're one of these teams that, while I doubt clubs like Toronto and Seattle, I always say I want to see these guys kind of get there. Tampa Bay is a team that has gotten there and has proven over the years they kind of have a winning way about them. We'll see if they can, in this situation, catch Seattle, because Seattle at some point has to start playing better. They're not going to lose the rest of the season, I don't believe. But at the same time, what has happened in the last 20 games with them, 6-14, is inexplicable.
I want to go with the last thing here. I want to talk about the article that you wrote today. 11 years ago, I still can't believe it. I was on the field for this with Salvador Perez hitting the line drive off Aroldis Chapman's head. At the end, we could see the stitches that basically went from the top of his head to the back. It was surreal. It was a scary moment for everybody, especially Aroldis and Salvador. And now all of a sudden they have this special bond. 11 years later, it went like that. Can you just talk a little bit about that and what you remember, and a little bit about the article?
A couple things on this. First of all, Todd, I was in Arizona that night, and I was driving from one game perhaps back to my hotel when I got a call saying this had happened. So what I did was I turned around and went right to Goodyear, to the Reds training complex, walked into the clubhouse and figured, you know what, I'll just wait for everyone to come back and then ask whatever questions need to be asked, see what's going on. And the Reds PR director at the time, Rob Butcher, one of the great PR guys in the sport, found out about this. He got a call in surprise where the game was being played. It actually was canceled. And basically told them, get Kenny out of the clubhouse immediately. And I didn't realize, I should have realized, but I didn't realize it was bad, that bad. And my instincts were just go there and see what happens. But at the same time, it was one of these nights where, no, it was not appropriate to be there. And when they came back, of course, I was not there, but everyone was upset. And I don't know if you were one of the guys that went to the hospital that night, but a lot of players did. And the story is about how, even though this happened, Perez was at the hospital that night. And for the next 2 days, after Chapman had surgery to repair his face, he broke an orbital bone above his left eyebrow. And from that point on, they did become close friends. It's not something that happened suddenly. It happened from that event. And over time, they really got close. And Chapman became Perez's role model in terms of working out. They work out together in the offseason in Miami, where they both live. And it's a cool story in that regard. And the only reason I knew about it was because last weekend in Kansas City, I wanted to sit down with Sal just to ask about how long he wanted to play, Hall of Fame possibilities. And he started talking about Chapman. He brought it up. He said, I learned my work ethic from Chapman. And that's the seed of that story. And it was kind of a cool one to work on because they're two very prominent players, opponents, really their whole careers, except for that brief time in 23 when they were in Kansas City together. But they have been really the closest of friends ever since that awful incident.
You were there, right?
Yeah. I was playing third base. I remember the ball hit his head, ricocheted off his head, and went towards me. That's my first reaction is to go and get the ball, and then I looked to my left, and I'm like, we darted right there. And you saw Salvador Perez. He stopped, went right to his knees, and everybody came out. It was a nasty scene, but I'm just glad that he came out okay from the whole situation.
Yeah, that's scary. That's crazy that you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll save the rest, obviously, for the crowd to check out. There's your shameless plug on the back end, but it's a good one. In The Athletic, Ken's story out this morning. Ken, thanks for the time. Enjoy the weekend in Texas.
Thanks, guys.
That's Ken Rosenthal, FT Senior Insider. Fair Territory back on Monday with a fresh episode recapping a big weekend. Let's do it. Your BetMGM free game of the day. If you believe in the Giants, this is your chance. You get to watch them for free. If you're not in the market there and you're like, I want to watch a little Giants baseball, streaming on the BetMGM app if you're logged in and have a funded account, or if you're betting on the game.
Are the Giants still playing the Rockies?
Nope.
Then no, I don't believe in them.
They played the Rockies the rest of the year.
The rest of the year, they might be 9-1 every 10 games
Yep.
for the rest of the year.
Well, if you followed us yesterday, you were smiling. Victory. All locks hit.
It's a good day.
Good variety, too. You had
It's
a
a
money
good
line
day.
parlay, you had a strikeout prop, and you had a nerfy, right? Some people like to bet in a certain way, and we gave you a little bit of everything yesterday, and we hit. And there's a lot of green that's starting to emerge via money bags. No, that's the old one. I'm up. I'm up $18.
It doesn't say you're up, so
Yeah,
I'm up $18.
Todd's up. That's all that matters.
Todd's up.
Todd's our
$575. All right, then you go first.
Because he's a big dog.
Listen, I'm going 300 to win 345. This is a plus 115 bet. I'm taking an underdog today. From watching the Astros play, I think the Rangers come up big today, find a way to win, and the Rangers are going to take at least 2 out of 3 in this next series. So I think Rangers come out on top first game.
So money line?
Money line.
Got it. Okay.
I like that. I'm parlaying a strikeout prop. Andrew Abbott has hit it 7 out of the last 9 times. All he needs is 5, so it's over 4.5 from Andrew Abbott. And our guy Chris Sale is facing the really exhausted Mariners, who strike out at the 3rd highest clip for the season. They're the 1st highest clip since, I think, the beginning of August. And Chris Sale needs 8. Parlay that together, we're going to get plus 194.
Oh, nice. A hundo to win 194.
Yep.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
We'll get Pap later. We got my pick later. Did you see they updated it?
I saw it.
I'm
I
in the green now.
was on screen with Todd while he was doing his lock. I mean, he's the only one that's a real lock.
It's my
That's
Todd
not-
allowance,
And
though. He gave me
I was raising
$18.
my
Not
fist.
true. Not true. Thank you, though. I hope so.
Good year, though. You got to finish strong.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
575.
Don't be a regular season guy. Bring all the money
Playoffs
you've made.
is tough.
Playoffs is tough. No
When
true.
you've made money for people, now you need to give it to them so they can take it into the football season.
I think we reset it for playoffs, if I recall.
we did.
I was
right?
hot for
Yeah.
playoffs.
How you start?
new season.
How you finish?
We're looking ahead. What do we like this week? What do we like this weekend?
I mean,
What are you watching?
I mean, I'm watching the Yankees. I'm sorry. I've been talking about them a lot. This is a huge series. Even they have 9 games left against teams over 500 that are most likely going to be in the playoffs. And then they have 13 games of guys under 500. So if they could stay and, win 2 out of 3, maybe, they have a chance to win this division, in my opinion, knowing who the other teams have to face. So let's see what the Yankees got. This guy, Cam Schlitter, I'm just really impressed with the way he pitches, with his extension and, the short arm, and bam, here we go. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Schlittler.
He's been nailing the pronunciation. He has.
Who?
You have. You've been nailing it because some people have gotten a little dicey when they've said his name.
But it's not Schlitter. It's Schlittler.
Schlittler.
When he first came up, I thought he was Schlitter.
Spitter.
Ooh, that's illegal.
It'd be cool if you're like, he throws a Schlitter.
Yeah.
Like, what's a Schlitter?
Slider.
You got to see
Schlitter.
it. You got to see it.
Anyway, I think that's the series because every other series, it's playoff team versus non-playoff team.
Yeah.
There's not one team that's in the playoffs that's matching up against another playoff team.
Here we go, baby.
To me, that's the series. Yes, I want to see how the Cubs could sweep here and their offense could look really good because they're playing the Nats. Yes, I want to see if Milwaukee does what everyone else is doing against the Pirates recently and loses. Yes, but that, to me, the Yankees, Blue Jays are a very litmus test.
Yeah.
Not just the Blue Jays, because Blue Jays bullpen is Brutes Magoots, and if they want to do good in the playoffs, the best way to test it is the Yankees lineup, because you have to be able to execute pitches to beat the Yankees, and the Yankees have been giving them a lot of games by, would they have 11 errors the last series that they played?
But
Ben Rice last night dropped 2 balls.
yeah, The one from third from McMahon was a little harder, I thought, but the double play should have been caught.
The one from third because it's going into
he had to reach in the runner's coming.
In the runner,
and he's still trying to understand, how far he can go. It's a hard. I give him that
hard position.
Yeah, it is. And people don't think it is. It is.
Just throw him over at first base because he hits.
But here's the thing with the Yankees right now. Judge, Stanton. I mean, Judge is doing okay. Stanton kind of fizzled a little bit. Well, these other guys are raking the ball. They got 8 guys that are going to hit 200 or plus home runs. Grisham, Rice, Bellinger, McMahon, just to name a few. Wells, they are doing really. It's magical. So to see that, and the big boys aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, on a little bit of a note, this is a team they're clicking right now at the right time.
Of those guys, non-G, non-Judge, none of the pitchers, of those guys in the lineup, who's the most important or impressive season?
I would say the most impressive is Grisham.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. 30 and 100? That's crazy.
Nobody had that.
Who's the most important? The Yankees didn't even have it. They gave him
I said nobody.
Yeah,
I would say the most important probably Bellinger, in my opinion. Because he's got to hit. He's the one hitting either in between or right after those guys. So if he stays hot, I mean, oh God. Woo.
How about Jazz not playing after he got 2 boo-boos on his knees?
He said that the knees have been a thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of rude of you.
I'm just saying. Because they had a late game last night. They got to fly to play
They
in
probably
a big series
They
now.
probably didn't go to bed till 5 o'clock.
Oh, man. You know how long it takes to get
stinks.
most of them live 45 from the stadium.
And you got to go through customs. No, is it home or away?
No, they're at home. They're in the Bronx.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I did like
You're right. My
six,
bad.
Yeah.
six
My
Toronto
bad.
six
My
Toronto
bad.
radio things this morning. So
Yes,
You're dialed.
I'm dialed in.
Still, they got a good little ride ahead of them going home.
Okay, is my turn now?
No, I
Because
thought
I'm going to pick series that are
done.
weird. No, I'm going to pick weird stuff. We have like 3
get
minutes
weird.
left.
Let's get weird.
I mean, they're not weird, but
Okay,
I
I like
root
weird.
for chaos, okay? I enjoy chaos. I like when September 1st hits and people go, oh, there's no races. It's already decided. And then it's like, but wait. What's going on here in the AL wild card? That's a real thing. I'll start with the more boring side, but it's still a puncher's chance. If the Reds sweep the Mets, they're 2 games out.
The Reds.
Is it likely?
Off,
no.
Man.
But if they
God
sweep
almighty.
the Mets, this is the direct team that you have to take down in the wild card standings. They're 2 games out. Also, if they sweep the Mets and the Giants have a good weekend, things could change.
They
Is
piss
it
me
likely?
off.
No. Very much not likely. But on the American League side, we have a real race. Seattle is a game and a half clear of Texas, 2 in the loss column, as AJ always tells me.
But listen,
And same with Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
They're
so
ready.
here's the thing that starts to get interesting, right? We're not talking about 4 or 5 games. We're talking about 2 games or fewer away for 3 teams. So what does that mean to me? Your percentage chance of one of those teams getting hot as hell or keeping that streak alive like the Rays, it's there.
It is.
That's all I'm saying is
But-
Seattle might finish nicely, right? Seattle, how many games are left for teams? Like 20-ish?
22.
22. So let's say Seattle finishes 12 and 10. You're like, okay, they finished nicely. But what if one of these teams finishes 16 and whatever that is?
6.
16.
But Kratz always said if you're 3 games or more in September, you have no shot.
But that's why we got 2. We
Woo!
got 1.5 on one of them. So Texas,
I'm just
Kansas
saying what you
City,
repeated.
Tampa Bay.
You're repeating what I said. is what
And then
it
I
is.
repeat the repeater.
So my point is tonight, Cleveland and Tampa Bay face off. That meant nothing a week ago. Now it's got a little juice.
Yeah.
I like that. Minnesota and Kansas City. Kansas City should have handled biz, but they didn't. Although they did last night. Big win over the Angels to at least get a game there,
It
right?
took them 4 home runs to do it.
Whatever.
That offense
Which is unlikely for them. But
offense
now
is
they get
nugs.
Minnesota. You're looking for them to sweep a series here and say, hey, Seattle had some trouble in Atlanta. Now we're a game out.
So, this is your turn. This is your turn, Scott.
These are the series that I'm watching. That's my point is Toronto and the Yankees, cool. Little playoff preview, but they're both in the playoffs. So you're good. Whatever happens, happens. I'm moving to What if Seattle gets swept this weekend in Atlanta? What if the Royals sweep the Twins? What if the Rays sweep the Guardians? And then we show up Monday and there's a different team in a wild card season.
So which
That's
one?
the good
This
stuff.
is
So which one's
exciting.
it going to be?
Goosebumps.
Which one's it going to be? And
I
don't take a Todd answer.
thought-
It'll just be
no,
two.
no.
or three.
I always
why
give
are
you
you
an
getting
answer.
so
I
rude,
always give
man?
you an answer. I think on Monday,
Hot shit sometimes.
I think that Cleveland's going to be a tough test for Tampa Bay. Cleveland, they still got a solid team. That's an annoying spoiler. Minnesota's bad right now. They're really bad all year besides that fluke winning streak that they had. And this is not the same team. Kansas City has a chance to take it to them for a few games. And Seattle is in Atlanta. Seattle is in a bad spot right now. They desperately want to get home. And instead, you're in hot Atlanta. You're facing Chris Sale to open up the series. And there's still plenty of boppers in that lineup. So that's all. I'm just throwing that out there. So the two is, could I see Seattle dropping 2 out of 3 to Atlanta, Kansas City winning 2 out of 3 against Minnesota, and all of a sudden, Monday, we're talking about a tie for that third wild card seat. That's the good stuff. That's what I'm throwing out there because most people were like, it's all decided already. I said that at one point because it looked like that. Hey, we know all 12 teams already. It seems like we know 11 now. Are we sure the Mariners are getting in? Because it's not just where you're at. It's schedule watch now. We're on schedule watch. Would you rather face Atlanta or Minnesota right now? To me, it's not close. It's just like when we talked about Baltimore.
Gosh.
Baltimore's not a fun team to face right now. Bradish is back. Tyler Wells is back. Some of the guys they're trying out in the bullpen are playing pretty well. They've got some hitters. That's not a fun team to face. Atlanta definitely has pitching problems, but not a fun team to face, especially on a sale Friday night. Minnesota should be a fun team to face right now.
Texas, you should
The
score
White
6
Sox
runs
just
against
dusted them. I get it. It's baseball. Anything can happen.
No, not like that.
But you want to face them. You want to face the Nats right now. We went over. It's not just the bad teams. Where are the bad teams at right now?
Yeah, and Texas, I'm looking at their last 9 games. They got Miami, Minnesota, and then Cleveland.
You've got a chance.
I feel like Cleveland might be out by that time.
But you've got a chance in those 9 games to go 7-2.
But they have a gauntlet going right now. They got the Astros, Milwaukee, New York Astros.
That's the problem. You got to get through that. So anyway, that's what I'm excited about. I root for chaos.
Who's gonna get hot? That's all.
Rays are already hot. Can they stay hot?
No.
No? Okay. Be right back.
Sorry.
7 in a row. 7.
I love that, though. I love that about him.
What's up, FT Nation? All my boys at the desk. What's happening? It's Parlay Pap coming to you today with this Friday cheese. Pretty simple. Anytime the Blue Jays are getting plus money, I'm gonna take them plus 110, and we're gonna put 200 on it. I think it's gonna be a good game tonight. You got the Schlittler, I think that's how you say his name, and Gosman going tonight. But the Blue Jays edge out the Yankees tonight in a win. So I'm taking them in the money line, plus 110, 200. Let's bet it.
There you go, Pap. Not quite Cam Schlittler, but close. He gave him a few extra random letters.
He added. I think he added an N in there.
Linner, which is lunch and dinner. So that's always good.
That's a little Boston. I don't know. The Yankees are playing well right now. Tough travel. Tough travel for them right there.
Travel.
That plays more, I think, in game 2. But we'll see.
Exhausting
We
series,
don't need
too.
another Red Bull today.
Exhausting series just
Today,
now
the
in
Red Bull
Houston.
kicks in. Yeah, that was a tough series, but they've been winning. They were winning against bad teams, carried it through Houston. That's why
I got in at 2:00 last night. I think I'm gonna.
You had a good game today.
No,
Tomorrow you'd be terrible.
No, but I'm saying I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
go down and get me a coffee.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat a coffee.
That's rare for you.
No,
Good for you.
it's gonna be one of those with like
espresso,
white mocha, my white hot mocha, something with a little flavor. I can't just drink coffee.
Yeah, he wants it
Black,
to be like
don't
a
matter.
mocha chocolate.
My wife gets the ones with blonde espresso or something. Yeah, I'm gonna do that one.
Yeah, that's why Scott has a body like his, and you have a body like yours.
What do you mean?
By the way, Dodgers-Orioles for me over 9 runs. Just think the Dodgers offense eventually going to figure it out. Hot night in Baltimore.
Playing well too.
And they can score. So I've just got that game getting some high scoring going. The only X factor is I think Dean Kramer's from the area, so he might give you one of those. Let me shove it to the hometown team situations.
Could be 2-0 in the 8th. And you're
yeah.
Like, oh,
so that's my pick today. But just 102 on that one to win a hundo. There's your MLB same game parlay boost token note. You can score a bigger payout. You know what to do. Head over to the BetMGM app or BetMGM.com. Activate that bet slip and that token on your bet slip.
Do it right now.
Get extra winnings if you do so. If you win. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Be right back with Slap. There's a question many of you are asking in the chat, so I'll ask it to our guys. All right, we got quick time here for Slap. First off, a lot of people were asking about the Emmet Sheehan baseball thing. You sent that. I saw it. I was like, is this a segment? But, I mean, a lot of people asked
first hit
about
ball.
it.
Yeah, what was that about, man?
By accident, right?
No.
It was on purpose?
No.
I don't know. I didn't do enough homework on this, you go.
What's he doing?
Pitchers want the ball sometimes.
What are you doing?
They threw him a new ball, and he went.
That was so weird.
Put it back in.
That was
he wanted to use the baseball still?
Hey, only he can answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was
he
weird.
definitely.
I think he said post game, like, my bad, I messed up.
Yeah, no, I don't
That's
think
it. That's fine.
Okay.
No.
Or he was pissed he gave up a hit to first big league hit. I don't know.
At least he
said
said
something,
my
right?
bad.
If he was trying to be funny, it wasn't funny, in my
Pete,
opinion. That's your
Pete
first,
accidentally threw.
I don't think he was trying to be funny.
I think JC's
I hope not.
first
hope
hit
not,
in.
yeah.
Pete Alonso
last year.
accidentally threw it in. He was frustrated. Now, because we've interacted with Pete, Pete.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to nefariously do that. I don't know Sheehan. Maybe in the moment he was pissed, but he said it was his bad. Everybody's like,
at least he apologized. Did
hey.
he get the ball?
No idea.
Yeah.
For some reason, I believe him. Coming off a week where Freddy Peralta said he didn't cross up on purpose.
What? Fastball?
No.
No. Curveballs?
No.
No.
He called for a drilling in the ribs. Drill me in the ribs. I deserve it.
Poor catcher, man.
Yes.
I gave him credit for not
Happy
calling
Friday.
him out too either. What a